So, on this video, let's talk about why Uber drivers are not picking short distance rides. Short rides. Why drivers are ignoring short rides. I think this is a question that most clients have been asking themselves. Why? But I've requested why. They accept, they cancel, they accept, and sometimes they cancel. Now, on this video, I'm going to explain to you in details. As one of the drivers also, I'm going to give you the full details why drivers ignore short rides. Number one, profit margin. Most of these rides are non-profitable to the drivers. Most so if it's maybe 7 kilometers and below, such rides comes with a low profit. Like, for example, a ride goes for 220. 220 as a driver, your total earnings, what you should have as a driver is 174. That is tax and Bolt commission excluded. That means Bolt will take around 140 something as their commission. So working for 170 on a car sometimes does not make any sense. Plus, you will still, most of these rides, you will still at some point have problem with the client. You are working for free. It's like you are working for free, but still you have a problem with someone. Inakuharibia siku. For what? Why don't you just cancel or ignore that ride? So this is one of the problems. Number two, more work. Such rides comes with a lot of works. Corners, traffic. Why would you waste your time in a traffic on a ride that will give you less? Because if the ride is 174 as a total profit, how much will the car consume? How much will the car consume? And how much are you going to save for the wear and tear? And how much is even for car wash? Like sometimes you are in Italy, one single ride, you are in a very dirty place, one single ride, and 174 cannot even repair a common puncture, because puncture is always 200. A common puncture, even in case something happens and this guy want to board another car, how will he pay you? The ride is 220. How will he pay you? Because you have worked, you have gone a distance, then there is a problem with the car. How will that guy pay you? So here, these are some of the questions that drivers are asking themselves. Why? Why would I go for such a ride? So even me at some point, I always go for some, but I will not go for more than 3. That is very common with me. More than 5 in a day, I cannot go more than 5 in a single day. I will just try to pick some of them I will not pick them. It is very common because the profit is very low. Number 3, road condition. Most of these rides, they are going down the streets, and the road unworthiness is one of the problems. The roads, some areas the roads are not even tarmacked, mostly Rongai. Somewhere like Utawala, some of the roads are very bad. Somewhere like even in Kiambu, kila mtaa, almost everywhere there is that problem somewhere. There is that problem with the road. So in most cases, you will not like what you are seeing, or the condition of the road, you will not like it. So at some point, you feel like, why would I go and break my car for an amount that even if I go for 10 of them, sometimes it will not repair the damage? Because bad roads, in most cases, it will cost you bushes, shocks, and even, what do we call this? Suspension. So why would you go for such a ride, knowing very well that what you are working for is not enough even for repairing anything that will be damaged? So that's why most of the drivers ignore such rides. Now, number 4, pedestrians and busy roads. In most cases, such rides, since they are going to the streets, down the streets, Most of these rides are going to busy areas. Wamama wametandika mboga mahali, mara nini mahoka wametandika kwa barabara. It is all chaos. Such rides comes. Most of these rides goes to very busy areas. Very busy. The hawkers, children, borders. It is all chaos. And also most of these rides, they are meant for those who are going for shoppings or even visiting someone at a close range. That means this guy want to stop by the roadside to buy eggs. He want to buy something. Who is going to wait for that long? So such rides at some point, they will cause trouble to an extent. Sometimes your account might even be blocked because you had some differences with the client. Remember, the 200 cannot cater for anything in this car. Maybe a perfume or even a serviette if you are a driver using serviette. So these are some of the things that as a driver, as an investor, we always check and feel like it is not worth it. Why don't you let them just use border? Because even if you compare what borders earn in such a short rides, borders always charge like 100 to 200 to 50 to 100 shillings, and sometimes even up to 200. So for a border to charge one person 100 shillings and a car to charge 220, 220 divided by 3, because these cars we carry 3 passengers. That means out of those 3, everyone will be paying about 50-60 bob, while border will be charging 100 shillings. Why don't you just use border instead of coming here to make the driver feel like he's doing nothing? So at some point, drivers, as an investor, drivers always calculate the profit, the benefit of the ride, the profit. As an investor, you have to check on that. And this is one of the reasons why drivers will always ignore short distance rides. No matter what, in most cases, you will request more than 3 or even 4 rides before you get one who will accept who will accept your ride. So at some point, we don't blame ourselves, but we blame whoever is charging such rides, whoever is calculating the amount we are going you are paying as a client. Now also another thing, number 5, consumptions. Since these rides goes to the streets and the roads are very bad, a lot of children, a lot of pedestrians, you cannot go at a higher speed. That means, because a lot of bumps also, because in the streets a lot of bumps, they erect a lot of bumps because they don't want the borders to ride at a higher speed. So they're trying to control the borders so that they don't hit children. But by doing that, with the car, it causes a lot of problems. Suspension problems, fuel consumption, because you always slow at a bumps. Once you slow at a bump, you will have to press the fuel again. That, and also with the automatic cars, it lowers. Once you slow down, it lowers the gear. So you start with a lower gear. You will always drive at a lower gear, like 1 and 2. That makes the car consume more than usual rides on the highway. So these are some of the reasons. Also another thing, the bumps, I've talked about it. A lot of bumps. Bumps cause a lot of problems with the consumption. It's damaging the car. You should not use in most drives, and even most drivers, those who have their own private cars, they will not go every day. That guy will just go past maybe less than 10 bumps. But as an Uber driver, in such a rides, even one ride, you might go for you might pass over 10 bumps or even 20 on a single ride. That means if you go for 10 of them, even your shocks has to feel something, the suspension has to feel something. So these are some of the reasons. So If a driver fails to pick your ride as a client, I feel like maybe just go for a motorbike, the easiest. Time wasting. This ride, since you are driving at a speed of 10, 20, because it's, you are on the streets, maybe mtu anapitia kwa soko, kuna hawkers, kuna nini, uwezi drive at a higher speed. You cannot drive at a higher speed on such rides. And since you cannot drive at a high speed, that means time, you will be, it will not save you time. It will take you time. And also some of them will stop by the roadside. That is also another time wasting on a ride that is paying less. Also going, most of these rides you will find them at the malls. Going inside the mall, you pick a client, you go and pay for a parking. You pay for the parking. That's time going. Maybe you are waiting for the client to come out. You park the things at in the boot. All this time, you are wasting a lot of time. Maybe you stop by the roadside. Security checkups at the gate, at the mall gate. Why? Why are you doing all that job for 200, for 150? For 50 shillings per head? It doesn't make sense. So these are some of the reasons why drivers feel, no, I'm wasting time, and time is money. So in such rides, I don't know what to say about them. I don't know what customers can do, but to me, at some point, I pick some of them. Mostly when I see someone going to hospital, I always pick. Some of them, I always pick them. But also, it depends on how the business is. So I am the one to decide whether to complete one or not. So in such rides, as a driver, you don't just ignore all of them. Sometimes, in fact, nowadays I've seen Bolt trying to force them on people. If you cancel one, the next one will be the same. Or they will keep you waiting for long. Your next ride, you will wait for long. And this is a common trend with Bolt. Hello guys, please subscribe to our channel, give us a like, leave us a comment.